Most identity theft protection services fall short with weak coverage, but in this video, I'll break down 5 things you need to know. And you can use my discount link in the description for the current lowest price. There are basically 3 things you need to do to keep your information secure, and if any service isn't doing all 3, you're wasting your money. Review, remove, repeat. Technically, review should be monitor, but I guess I'm better at security advice than I am at synonyms, so just go with it. First, you want to monitor all possible instances where your information is leaked or being used through things like credit monitoring, tracking bank purchases you don't recognize, and dark web scanning. Second, if any of your information has leaked online, you want as much of that taken down as possible. We're talking about data brokers, people's search sites, the works. And third, you want to do that constantly because new information can leak every single day. Just because no one made any mysterious purchases this month doesn't mean they won't next month. The good news is there are services that will do all of that for you automatically. The bad news, most of them are basically lying to you about what they actually include. The market for identity theft protection is pretty mixed, and honestly, most of these companies are guilty of the same thing. They hide all the critical features behind paywalls. Take LifeLock, for example. This is actually probably my second favorite service. They have tiers where you don't even get every credit bureau monitored until you're paying for the Ultimate Plus plan, which is basically multiple Netflix subscriptions every month. We're talking about essential protection features that should be standard, but they're locked behind premium pricing. Without even touching Identity Guard or some of the other players in the space, I can tell you that this upselling model is everywhere. They get you in the door with a basic plan, then hit you with, "Oh, you want your credit monitored on all 3 bureaus?" That's gonna cost extra. It's honestly pretty frustrating as a consumer, which is why I decided to test these services myself and see which one actually delivers on what they promise, and it's Aura. You can actually watch me on this channel sign up for both LifeLock and Aura in real time, and the difference is pretty night and day. Let me give you some specific examples of what I found. They both monitor your credit, but my preferred service has all 3 bureaus as standard. LifeLock won't give you that unless you're on their highest tier. When it comes to dark web scanning, this was one of the big ones for me. They'll both scan to see how much of your information is leaked on the dark web. For me, Aura found 45 instances of my information. LifeLock found 4. That's not even close. Even things like customer service. I had a great call with Aura. Quick, helpful, no nonsense. LifeLock buried their customer service line, and it was genuinely hard to find. When I finally got through, the rep tried to upsell me before I could even end the call. So both services kind of do the same thing on paper, and there isn't one definitive feature that completely separates them, but just speaking from experience, I have a clear preference based on how they actually perform and do business. The one that I actually do recommend people use is Aura, and here's exactly what you get. Credit monitoring for all 3 bureaus, not just one, identity theft protection with real-time alerts, identity theft insurance starting at $1 million with the option to go up to 5, online data removal from over 130 data brokers, VPN for secure browsing, antivirus protection, password manager, spam call protection, and parental controls. The reason I recommend them is because as a package, that's about as good as you can get when it comes to identity theft protection. There are specialized services that do some of those things perhaps a little bit better than Aura, like my favorite data broker removal service is Optree, but Optree does one of those things I just listed. Aura does all of them. And fun fact, Aura has increased the number of data brokers they cover to now more than 130. I could easily see them surpassing dedicated data broker removal tools in the near future. Aura is just a consumer-friendly one-stop shop for this kind of problem. If you're dealing with something hyper-specific like a stalking incident, then a service like Optory could be more appropriate. But if you're just a person who exists with an online presence in 2025, then I'd recommend just having Aura as your default setting. Here's where Aura really stands out in my testing. Their alert speed is the fastest I've ever tested. When you run a credit check, you get notified almost instantly. They caught more instances of my information leaking on the dark web than any other service, and like I mentioned, they also continue to add to the number of data brokers that they'll remove your personal information from. The fact that all the other things like antivirus and VPN are just included in their bundle is a good reflection of their consumer practices. Other identity theft protection services are really out to nickel and dime you, and Aura just isn't. I'd still probably be here talking to you about them if it was just the credit monitoring and data removal, but I want to be completely honest with you about where they could improve. I don't know if I'd go so far as to recommend the antivirus software. That's probably my one big room for improvement area. There are definitely better standalone antivirus options out there if that's your main concern, but the fact that they're not trying to upcharge people for things like spam call protection is just a really good way to do business. Most companies would make that a premium add-on. Here's the bottom line. If you're someone who just wants comprehensive identity theft protection without having to research and pay for 5 different services, Aura is your best bet. Like I said in the beginning, if you want to check them out, I do have a discount link available in the description. They have a free trial, so you can test everything I just talked about for yourself and see if you get the same results I did. You really have nothing to lose here. Start the free trial, let them scan for your information on the dark web, see how many instances they find compared to what you expected. If you're like me, you'll probably be surprised by what's out there. The link in the description will get you the best available discount, and you can cancel anytime if it's not working for you. Your identity is being sold right now while you're watching this video. The question isn't whether you need protection, it's whether you're going to do something about it today or wait until it's too late.